On today's show, we have a very important thing to talk about, all right? We got to figure out what is the next game that I'm going to play here on DSP Gaming. And we've been talking about this recently, and we have all these options. And there is no real determining factor at this point because I don't think that there is one game that I could play right now that will please everyone. Reason being, we've basically covered all the biggest releases of the year, when you think about it, right? For example, Spider-Man, Alan Wake 2, Mario Odyssey, Lies of P, right? I'm playing Modern Warfare 3 right now. And all the other games are kind of already done with. So we're kind of doing kind of odds and ends. We are cleaning stuff up, as they say. We're sweeping up the stuff that I missed, essentially. And or we're playing remakes. In reality, there's only one other really new game coming out this year, and that's the Avatar game that comes out next month from Ubisoft. And I likely will be playing that under Ubisoft Plus, and giving it a look. If it plays like Far Cry, it probably would be a pretty fun playthrough and good for variety in December. So I'm down for that, but outside of that, it's very hard to figure out what to do now because it really does kind of feel like filler stuff. You know, right now we just started Like a Dragon Gaiden. Yes, that'll be a playthrough that I'm going to be playing. But outside of that, what else do I do? And we talked about all of the options yesterday. The options are I play Super Mario RPG Remake, which comes out Friday. It's a new release, but it is a remake of a game I played 4 years ago. I don't know if it would retain attention, engagement, and support as if it were a new game because I've already played it, and I just finished a Mario game that honestly just didn't do that well when it came to support and engagement and attention on my channel. It kind of waned after only a few streams, even though I stuck it out there and I did do a full playthrough of it. So some people are just saying, man, it's too long, or excuse me, it's too soon to be jumping into another Mario game, although it's really not a Mario game. It's a turn-based RPG from Square Enix, so if you like their stuff from the 1990s, like if you like Final Fantasy games from the 90s, you're absolutely going to love this game in this playthrough, okay? Another option would be RoboCop. This is a game that came out, what was it? It was either end of last month or very early this month, and, you know, reviews are all right. It's not like people love the game, but people who played it seem to enjoy it. They say it's around a 20-hour experience of, first-person shooter. And listen, I like RoboCop. I like the movies. I'm just not sold that people are going to want to see RoboCop for 20 hours. You know, if it was a shorter game and a cheaper game, but if it's a 20-hour game, I'm really wondering how that's going to hold up. You know what I mean? Another option would be the Lords of the Fallen, which everyone seems to be disagreeing on. Some people think it's a really good game. Some people say it's actually not that good at all. Some people are like, well, you're not going to like it because you played Lies of P, and Lies of P is definitively better than Lords of the Fallen, so you're going to end up being disappointed if you play it. Some people want to see me play Sea of Stars. Some people want me to go back and finish up Starfield. Some people want me to go back and finish up Elden Ring. You know, we have all these options, right? And it's like, well, when you have everyone asking for something different, it's hard to figure out what exactly to do. Now, man, you know, with all these, here's the thing. Here's my mindset, all right? Here's honestly my mindset. We just started playing Like a Dragon Gaiden. I honestly don't think that Like a Dragon Gaiden is going to do well as a daytime stream. I'm just being honest. I've played these Like a Dragon games before. They used to be called Yakuza, and these always kind of are good for like chill night streams, right? You play them 2 hours, a pop every twice a week, something like that. It takes a long time to get through them, but at the same time, they really work as late night chill sessions. They do. I know that these games don't get giant mainstream attention. They're not considered ginormous new releases or anything like that. And already I can tell you, yesterday, the premiere stream of that game, it didn't do great, which I wasn't expecting. You know, I did not think it would. I've played these games before. I know how they're received by my audience. You know what I'm saying? So already, I was thinking that Like a Dragon Gaiden would be a mainstream game for a couple of days, and then we would kind of migrate it to night streams, and we would do other stuff. So, if that's the case, right, that means that we basically have, like, more time for other stuff. So, first of all, I do want to play Super Mario RPG Remake. You know what I'm saying? Like, I absolutely want to play it. I love the game. I played it 4 years ago. I loved that playthrough. I also know it's a shorter game. Like, a lot of people are afraid, oh, it's an RPG. The game's so long. It's not. It's under 20 hours. It's a much shorter Square Enix RPG than people think. It's not like a giant 40-hour Final Fantasy experience. It's a much more streamlined game. It has a lot of content. It has a lot of fun dialogue and cool narrative. But it's not a game that kind of overstays its welcome, right? Let's put it that way. So I'm down for that, and I want to play that, okay? But it's a Mario game, and it's an RPG. So it's kind of like a double whammy. Are people going to show up and want to hang out and engage and support that playthrough? I don't know. You know, RoboCop is something that I kind of want to play at some point anyway. Like, I don't know if it would be right away or if it would end up being down the road. But I feel like RoboCop is the kind of game that I would want to play. The problem is, you know, right now, like, buying it, I don't know, like I think it's still full price, correct? Like, it's not like it's got a reduced price or anything like that. I'm just curious on Xbox here, because I haven't even looked. RoboCop, here it is. Why is the pre-order still available? The pre-order is still listed on Xbox Live. That's pretty silly. It's $60, you know, for a first-person shooter in 2023. $60, right? And I don't know, like, I feel like RoboCop, we'd play it once or twice, it'd be good, but I feel like that's the kind of game that it works for a stream or two, and then after that, once you've seen what it is, it ain't gonna be as interesting, you know? Maybe I'm wrong, because I haven't played it. I just feel like that's a game that, again, it wouldn't really retain attention. Alright, here's the truth. Let me be completely, transparently honest with all of you, right now, alright? And a lot of people aren't going to want to hear this, but here's the truth. It's been slow recently on my streams. If you haven't noticed, number one, I got sick. I ended up losing out on a giant week of gaming when, number one, I was playing all the hot new releases, and it would have been a good supportive week. And then I missed out on my freaking Halloween marathon, which every year traditionally does really well, and I get tons of support. I got none of that this year, all right? None of it. And it sucks that I lost out on that. And then on top of that, these last couple of weeks since I've come back from being sick, we've had numerous days where there's been slow levels of support. And that sucks. Because right now, if things had been better, I'd be like, right now, here's what I want to do. I swear to God, this is what I want to do. I want to buy Super Mario RPG and I want to buy RoboCop. And next week, I want to have those two games start alternating as the daytime streams. And then on night streams, I want to do one stream of Street Fighter 6 on Friday. And then I want to alternate on night streams between Like a Dragon Gaiden and Modern Warfare 3. Like, that's what I want to do. Ideally, that's exactly what I want to do. But how am I supposed to do that when I've literally just went through 2 weeks of slow stuff and I lost out on a whole week of streaming because I was sick? You know what I'm saying? I wish that I lived in a world where things weren't like that, and that I had full flexibility to do whatever I want. And I just don't, you know? That's what I want to do. But I guess I can't, you know? Like, right now, I'm faced with a situation where I can pretty much buy one game and still have enough for maybe, like, shopping tomorrow. You know what I mean? Because that's the week. That's how it's been. And it's like, well, that sucks. I don't like having those decisions, right? But that's my decision right now, you know? It just sucks. And then you get someone Dentron says, oh, your YouTube check is coming. Yeah, my YouTube check is way lower this month. Because I missed out on the end of October. I was way low on memberships. I was low. I missed out on a week of super chats. I missed out on a week of everything. Because I was sick. This is the story you won't hear from most YouTubers. Is that when you run your own business like this, right? Sadly, when you are sick, there's no sick pay. There's no days off. You just suffer for it. So I was sick, and not only was I completely laid out where I couldn't work, now it will have this ripple effect for months and months, and it sucks ass. I hate this. I wish that this was the opposite, and right now I could be like, guys, things are going good, so you know what, I'm gonna buy both games. We're gonna have a week of all new gameplay on the day streams next week, right? And it's funny because I'm not kidding you. I got a comment on my podcast yesterday, and I just read it this morning. Here was the comment. You ready? I swear, this is the comment. Phil, no other content creators seem to have the limitations you do. Everyone else out there will buy a game and play it for like a stream or two. That's their testing period, okay? During those 2 first sessions, they determine if it's a game that they like, if it's a game that their viewership likes, if it's a game that will have longevity and people will want to keep watching, and if people support it. And basically within 2 streams, they determine that. And if within 2 streams, that game has slowed down or they're not liking it, their audience doesn't like it, if there's not enough support, they just drop the game. And they move on and they do something else. And all other streamers are like this. Just not you. And like for some reason, you hold yourself to this weird higher standard where when you start a game, you have to finish it. And no one else does that. Like it's very common practice with other gameplay streamers. They don't just play a game from start to finish. They constantly will jump around other games until they find the ones that stick, per se, right? So, for example, you know, this season, they probably would have start Spider-Man, start Mario Wonder, start Like a Dragon Gaiden, start 7-8 games within a month, but only actually finish 2. Okay? Now, as you guys know, that's not me. That's never been me. When I start up a game, right, I kind of commit to trying to finish it. There are a few exceptions to that, for sure. But for the most part, when I start a game, you guys know, you guys know that the case is that I always try to finish it. Regardless of what my idiotic hate watchers say, it's the complete opposite. I probably have fewer quitting of playthroughs than most content creators on this fucking platform. And especially for someone who's been around for 15 years, I probably have more completed playthroughs than almost anybody. Alright? But, of course, that's not what you'll hear from the morons out there that literally say the opposite despite no evidence of that. So that's the thing. Now, here's the thing. With that philosophy, okay? If I adopted that philosophy, alright, I feel like it would be a double-edged sword. I do feel that in some ways that would probably benefit my business better, because if I'm trying everything, if I just throw everything at the wall and I see what sticks and what doesn't, right? And what's going to stick and make and work, and what's not going to stick, and what will fall down the wall or whatever, fall off the wall, correct? You're going to end up with winners. You're going to end up with complete playthroughs of people that wanted to see those, and that's why you stuck with them, right? You're going to end up with half playthroughs, but that's okay, because if people got bored of it, then you don't get, right? And then you're going to end up with games that you just tried once or twice, like, whatever, but at least I tried it, right? So that way I at least have an opinion on everything. But the problem here is, I'm not a big streamer. That's really the problem, okay? I don't have the flexibility where in a week I can buy 3 games. This week, like I said, right now, okay? Right now, what I would like to do is buy both Mario RPG and RoboCop, play both this next week. That would appease everyone, because you get people who wanted the RPG that I originally planned, and if people don't like that RPG, come back tomorrow playing an action game with RoboCop shooting shit, right? And that would be fun. So, you get the variety. The problem is, look at the situation I'm in. For 2 weeks now, I've been behind everything when it comes to what I would normally have this time of year for my business, and it sucks. It sucks. I want to have the flexibility to do what I want to do with the business, and I can't, right? So, it's very frustrating, you know? Right now, I don't have the flexibility to do what I want. I wish I did. And so, it's funny because I say to you guys, well, we had a slow day. It would be great if we can pick it up tomorrow, and then we have another slow day. Well, why do you think I say that? Because this is why. Because now I don't have the flexibility to do what I would love to do for you guys. This is why I say this kind of stuff. And of course, people always take it the wrong way. Well, that's Phil being ungrateful. Well, that's Phil this and that. That's Phil being greedy. No, it's Phil wanting to do what's best for the viewership and for the business. And I can't. And it sucks. This sickness is really holding me back. It blows. That I was sick. What can I do? It was the worst cold I've had since I was in my 20s. Likely it was COVID, right? It probably was. And there's nothing you could do about it. You just got to push through it, which I'm doing, but it seems like I just haven't been able to recover.